How's everyone doing? Awesome, awesome. Well, I first and foremost want to say thank you to Amy and her wonderful team for inviting me back to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful conference. How about we give a shout out to Sun Valley Forum? This is an amazing conference. So I am super excited to bring some good news in spite of all the craziness that's happening. So instead of me talking about how clean energy culture is making clean energy so cool and engaging and just making it like this sort of lifestyle, I'm going to talk about two things. One, I'm going to talk about how we're pivoting to become the most valuable, sustainable lifestyle brand. The second thing I'm going to talk about why now is the perfect opportunity for impact investment in workforce ecosystems to punch the gas now, no pun intended. But by the end of this presentation, you will come away understanding how culture is actually the most powerful and profitable force there is. And we're going to also come away with the idea of how it's actually the fastest opportunity to envision a new world. So before I get started, I like to lift up a question everywhere I go. And the question is, if you woke up tomorrow and you had all the technologies and all the policies in place, would it change the trajectory of us meeting our net zero goals by 2050?
But there must be alternatives. You must have some technology that could solve our problem.
Your problem is not technology. The problem is you. You lack the will to change.
Then help us change.
I cannot change your nature. You treat the world as you treat each other.
But every civilization reaches a crisis point eventually.
Most of them don't make it.
Yours did? How?
Our sun was dying. We had to evolve in order to survive.
So it was only when your world was threatened with destruction that you became what you are now?
Yes.
Well, that's where we are. You say we're on the brink of destruction, and you're right. But it's only on the brink that people find the will to change. Only at the precipice do we evolve. This is our moment. Don't take it from us. We're close to an answer.
Wow. Wow. Everyone remembers that movie, right? No? The Day That the Earth Stood Still. Okay, you got to go watch it if you have not seen it, okay? But the point is, and by all means, I am not trying to wait until we're at the brink of disaster. I'm not trying to figure out what it feels like to be on the grill and be barbecued, right? But I think at that point, I'd probably take my chance and jump in a SpaceX rocket. But that's neither there nor there. But I want to offer a framework. And the framework is very simple, and it's a point of view. Maybe God is not calling us to solve climate change, but maybe God is calling us to change the way we live and treat each other. And I don't want you to take this in the terms of a religiosity quote, but I want you to look at it as a mirror, as a framework, that oftentimes maybe it's not about us solving externally what's happening in the climate, but maybe it's more of a how we solve internally. Okay? And that's going to be really critical as I go through this presentation, because I want you to always hold this sort of framework in mind as we explore how culture is a critical investment. Because oftentimes as humans, we don't just act externally, right? It starts from where? Internally. And so part of that is why culture becomes a huge opportunity for how we frame our solutions. Now, this is going to be the most important, confusing slide in your life that you will ever see. You've been warned. So, according to last year's elections, right, 2024 elections, after the survey, according to Gallup, climate change ranked 21st out of 22 issues. I was so disgruntled, I didn't even look to see what was 22. But on the flip side, Tesla earned upwards of 90-something billion, but the most revenue was generated here in the US. What that means is climate apathy is not the issue. The issue is trying to make sense of 80% of Americans in another poll want to take climate action, but only 2% from a micro level only prioritize it. The math doesn't make sense. But yet, climate tech profits and social impact goods are sending signals in the market that it is viable. So the real opportunity then is maybe there's an opportunity to frame the connection. There's a disconnection for how what we think taking climate action is. And why isn't that taking climate action isn't shown through the way we purchase our products? This is where culture is missing. Now, remember the framework about that I just kind of mentioned, right? About maybe it's more about how do we change the way we live and treat each other. So, I'm pretty sure, if not, are you all familiar with liquid death? Amazing, right? Amazing. For the life of me. Now, I'm not the most savvy guy, and I'm in culture, I'm in entertainment, and a lot of my friends pick on me because, like, they say, hey, how you didn't know about the Grammys or this and this? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm pretty much a nerd. I stay inside. And so, if you're like me, I was taking my daughters to school one day, and I seen these kids with liquid death cans. No, and I was like, what? Why are these kids drinking beer? I thought it was beer. And then my daughters just looked at me and was like, Dad, it's water. Okay, just by show of hands so I don't feel bad. Anybody thought it was beer too? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. But liquid death is valued at $700 million from selling a culture of death to plastics, which means that it proved that sustainability goes viral when culture is a part of it. Okay, Allbirds. Everyone's familiar with Allbirds shoes? IPO, roughly between $2 to $4 billion of storytelling of sustainability, which prove that you do not have to choose between profit and the planet. And so what this means is, keep in mind that framework changed the way we live. It means that there is a cultural opportunity to create an ecosystem of sustainable products that reflect the way we live and benefits our planet. And that's why we decided to create the most valuable, sustainable lifestyle brand. So what does this mean? Why is this a perfect time? This is a perfect time because, one, success is often forged in difficult times. Why? Because it forces innovation and it forces resourcefulness. And what the market has signaled through those products that I showed you is that there is ample opportunity, even right now. So specifically, what do you mean? Well, what I mean is workforce is an insanely hot opportunity. Why? Because there is a lot of job displacement. There's more youth not going to college. There's so many different factors, and there's a need for more income in our households, which grants the opportunity for people to become more creative to figure out businesses. So workforce is a huge accelerant. Now, the second part, why now is the perfect time, because today's tariffs, tomorrow's not tariffs. Tomorrow's day after that, maybe tariffs, I don't know. But what that's causing is it forcing us to explore how we're sourcing our materials and how we're creating local jobs, which is accelerating our local economy. This is all a perfect mixture for a cultural revolution of an ecosystem of products. How do we know this? It's because we're seeing front lines, some of the most innovative Black and brown companies that are envisioning not only just these sustainable products, cars, fashion, infrastructure, but folks are figuring out how to do that while creating jobs at home. So this is a viable opportunity. And the last thing I will say is that, last thing I will say is that I want everyone to take away this quick notion that the way we choose to live is reflected in the way we choose our products. Sustainability isn't just a slogan, it's a mirror. And so let us not be content with fighting the old world, but let's design a new one, a new reality that forges the life that we can see and pass on to our kids, because the reality of it, of all what I'm saying, is happening right now. Why not take advantage of it? Thank you.